The Pope is a liberal. Let's cut the crap. The Pope is a liberal.
Trump needs Musk's money.
Yeah, he needs his money. We're gonna moderate the situation. We're gonna make sure the straits open. Go fuck yourself. You guys suck.
Trump is not going to lose Catholic voters because he criticized the Pope. You run moderates and extreme left states if you want to win. He wants to use human rights and religious morality.
Average voter has the attention span of 3 months, if that.
Dude, the average voter has an attention span of 3 weeks at best. I'm already seeing people stop giving a shit about what happened with the Pope, and that didn't happen that happened less than a fucking week ago.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll just get my opinion out of the way. Regardless of if you're Catholic, Protestant, I just think it's this simple. If the Catholic Church, specifically the Pope, is going to start making political statements and start attacking people politically speaking, I think Trump is fair game. You can say it's a dumb political decision, but this idea that the papacy and the Pope is just able to go out there and make all these political statements and you're just not allowed to criticize them, I don't like that. No, you know, that's not how this works. Either the Pope stays completely apolitical and we leave him alone, or if he makes these political statements, it's fair game to criticize him, even if you're a public official.
I will give my opinion after everyone else has given their opinion, because I guarantee you I have the most well-formed and thought-out thing to say here.
Okay, real text,
yeah,
what do you think?
It's probably not usually the best optics, but I will also, I don't disagree with Trump's frustrations with the Pope.
Yeah, I want to be clear about this. Listen, again, I'm a Catholic, listen.
The Pope is a liberal. Let's cut the crap. The Pope is a liberal.
I have no clue what the Vatican's doing right now. I have no clue what they're trying to accomplish right now. Because you just look at what they're saying and doing right now. Again, the issue is not what he said about the war. I don't have a problem with that because that's Vatican stance. That's not really the
Popes
issue.
Are usually always pro-peace.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
not the issue.
Unless it comes to Russia, Ukraine, for whatever reason.
But either way,
Francis was, yeah.
The thing with the thing with what's going on is the whole immigration stuff is just insane. They're looking more into it. And I am not liking what I'm hearing.
Leo is like actually pro open borders.
John Paul II, peace be upon him, died. The papacy has become an institution for pushing leftist talking points globally. Francis, it was a Peronist. Francis was more left-wing than Pope Leo. But it's also worth noting that at the same time, he was not a native English speaker, and he could get away with sniping Trump over fucking immigration every day because Trump didn't give a shit. But I'm gonna let you in on it, guys. I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. Who is the demographic that keeps the coffers of the Holy See filled to the brim? It is conservative American Catholics. Pope Leo was elected, above all else, to soothe the nerves of conservative American Catholics by saying we have an American Pope now, because Pope Francis wasn't an American Pope. He was going around saying a bunch of shit that made people nervous. Well, Pope Leo is supposed to be here to serve as a moderating factor to keep American Catholics from being incredibly nervous. But he's not doing that. He's actually doing the exact opposite.
He's doing worse than
Pope Leo. Let me finish, please.
Yes, sorry about that.
Pope Leo is tactless. He is playing it's outright. He's just using outright leftist terminology. He literally used the term imperialist occupation in colonialism 2 weeks ago. Like, no, he is 100% a leftist. It's not even fucking worth trying to beat around the bush here. But he is trying to hide his political activism, very thinly veiled, behind the idea of shit like human rights. And for those who don't know, a couple Cardinals also just went on 60 Minutes. What was it, a week ago, a few days ago?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, where they openly attacked Trump for deporting. I mean, like, you're not deporting illegal immigrants from Catholicism. You're deporting them from America. They're going to go back home to fucking Guatemala or whatever and still continue practicing their religion.
When I saw the 60-minute thing, for those that don't know, there was these bishops or whatever, and it was like Baltimore or whatever, and they were complaining that the amount of people attending Spanish masses is down 30%. It's like, okay, they're just back to their country.
You're not deporting people from the faith. You're deporting people from the United States.
I don't get this logic.
The issue is that these older Catholic priests and cardinals are overwhelmingly liberal. They don't like Trump because they know that this open borders bullshit, this bleeding heart bullshit, is what keeps them financially soluble, and it keeps them in their positions of power.
A generic talking point. When you start attacking it directly like that, don't be surprised Trump's going to respond. Again, I don't think this is a good idea.
Especially when you are using flimsy fucking talking points that Trump has already had zero issue with going after people for before, like shit like fucking human rights.
Guys, it's
or
human
international rights. Like, be so fucking for real. I mean, it's tactless. It's a stupid fucking argument, but Trump is in the right here, no matter how you fucking boil it down. His holiness, if he wants to fucking play politics, if he wants to play these games, if he wants to throw his hat into the ring, and he wants to show that the upper echelons of the Catholic Church, while the boomers are still in control, are for open borders and mass migration and all this fucking shit, just to realistically just to spite Trump because he's a fucking Protestant, then yeah, be my fucking guest, because Trump's not going to lose any voters over this. The only time Trump has actually ever lost voters is when he's commented on fraud in the McCain comments with Arizona in the 2018 midterms. Yeah. Trump is not going to lose Catholic voters because he criticized the Pope. American Catholics are already culturally very Protestant. You're not this isn't an electoral
That's actually
thing.
a good way to put it, actually. You're not wrong with that, actually. But go on, sorry, I just want to interject.
No, I mean that's it. That is literally the only way I could put it. American Catholics don't give a fucking shit. If this were a culturally Catholic country, especially a deep one like Spain or Italy, this would be cause for scandal. But American Catholics overwhelmingly, typically, especially white Catholics and younger Catholics, which are the primary demographics Trump won the election off the backs of, they already vote in line with American Protestants. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck at all. So would you see all this fake outrage with people who literally just became Catholic a week ago?
Oh, we'll talk about Sunday, that. We'll talk about that. Let's actually talk about the image that Trump posted, because I think 90% of people saw this.
And again, it's now deleted, by the way.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, it got deleted. So, yeah. Anyways, a glitched EV for 5. The Jesus picture was the worst type of boomer slap, making Trump into a false ideal, and I can't defend that. Still voted Republican, but yeah, awful. Well, again, this is the original image right here. All right, and you can just tell this is like made by a boomer. You could tell immediately. This is like the most MAGA boomers. Yeah, it's boomer slap.
Which, by the way, did you guys see Gunter Eagleman's response to it?
Yeah, I saw that. It's boomer slap. What do you expect?
It was just like, this is powerful.
Yeah, so the origins of this are kind of funny. Like, when I first saw this, I thought, okay, either Nick Adams or Howley Muted made this. There's no other person known to made something like this, and it was Nick Adams.
Holy fucking shit, bro.
Yeah. So Nick Adams actually posted this originally a couple months ago, and the original intent of it was like he's healing America. It was not supposed to be like him as Jesus. It was supposed to be like he's healing America or whatever. Well, reason people didn't like this, I think the biggest issue with this is he does right after attacking Pope Leo. And I think people just assume that he was referring to himself as Jesus. That's why I think he was trying to, that's why people got pissed off.
I mean, let's be real. Trump thinks he was saved by God, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's let it get to his head just a wee bit.
Oh, I think he is, but especially with that Paul.
I mean, yeah, he does have. I mean, he's got an ego. He's kind of a narcissist.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, we know that.
But at the same time,
also,
though,
by the way, if you hear bumps from my microphone, I'm on the north side of Milwaukee right now. Don't ask why. I will not elaborate.
All right.
We don't need to talk about. We don't need to talk about. All right. Okay.
Let's see here. But yeah, Rap, should Trump fire Paula White? Yeah, she should be fired. Oh my gosh. This is why Trump had a press con. Oh my gosh. The president just ordered McDonald's a guy delivered to the Oval Office. What the fuck?
That was the whole lie from the White House thing. Okay.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What even is Trump at this point? This is the most random shit possible. Are you serious right now?
The stage DoorDash order, basically.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I find it funny though. It's like after all this Catholic shit's going on Twitter, he just casually does this publicity stunt. Just oh my gosh. Why does Trump do the most random shit possible? Why?
Hold on, that's why Trump had the press office call?
Yeah.
The press conference?
Because McDonald's deliver. Oh my gosh. I think it's related to the no tax and tips, probably, if I had to guess.
I think they literally said something about that during the thing, so yeah.
Oh no, I find it funny. It was just like, wait, Trump.
McDonald's banned tips, didn't they?
Who fucking knows? Just like, whoa. This is just
Trump. DoorDash, I think does.
That must be DoorDash. It must be DoorDash. I think she's wearing a DoorDash shirt or whatever. But still, I find it funny. It's just like
you can tell though it's staged because the DoorDash delivery woman speaks English.
Oh my gosh. A glitch Eevee for 2. As I said in my comment, a boomer slop. Yeah. But yeah, I find it like this is like Trump at his best. He just does the most random shit possible. Like this. Oh my gosh. Every time I think the McDonald's thing, I just think of how Trump actually worked at McDonald's for a day. He actually had more experience at McDonald's than Harris ever did, which is just hilarious, but...
Real. The majority of young people, and I want to get this straight, large chunk of young people who voted for Trump literally just voted for him because he was a cultural phenomenon. That's
true.
What young people do. They didn't care about the policies. Trump's approval collapsed way before Iran with that demographic. It collapsed during the deportations last year. There's a large portion of them. Unfortunately, a lot of very high IQ podcasters like Theo Vaughn, who have a lot of younger audience, were unironically pushing the idea that Trump was like a Bernie Sanders level candidate. Like that's what they were saying. That's not what I've said. That's what they said. So a lot of people got this idea because a lot of them were angry that the DNC screwed over Bernie back in 2020. So they thought that Trump was kind of like their FU to the establishment. They thought he would be very similar in that regard, which just low.
Well, yeah, that was part of the like, I get that, but I still think that Trump has done himself no favors with younger people.
Yeah.
Like, there's some stuff he's done that's just stupid. And a lot of it is because the housing market's still bad, the jobs market's still pretty bad. And those should theoretically improve, but at the same time, guys, look at the Democrat vote share with all these groups. You may notice something. It is not good for them at all. They're barely above 50 with 18 and 22. 23 and 29 at 58. And even that, these are swings compared to 2020 towards the Republican Party. And old people barely at 48%. Either way, I do think this is... It's not good for the GOP to be down by... Well, it kind of is to only be down by 2 points in the midterms. But at the same time, a lot of these undecideds, I believe they are Republican voters. And that's something we've been noticing a bunch of. these undecided voters in nearly every poll, you look at them, they're conservative, they're Republican voters, their voters claim they're undecided, and some of them might not vote, but the majority of them are going to vote for the Republican candidate. And that's a huge problem for Democrats. They don't have a big enough lead to counteract that. So yeah, not just 5 or 6, just 120 of them. 120 of them coming to the United States. And these are big oil tanks. I'm talking about some tiny ones that don't do anything. No, these take a lot of oil. And they're starting to come back to the United States. They're getting oil here. And I think what's going on here, and again, I don't believe in the 7D chest stuff. I don't think that's really a real thing. But at this point, it makes you wonder. We control Venezuela. We're getting millions of barrels of oil at this point from them. We're getting some oil from Canada. We're already a net exporter of it. All these countries, they're forced to come to the United States and take our oil and buy it. And in return, this should theoretically give our companies an opportunity to expand operations even further. So we can drill more oil, refine more of it, make more money, and theoretically make things cheaper in the long run. Again, this is not a 7D chest thing. Maybe it is. It makes you wonder though, because we took down Venezuela right away, made them do what we say to do, and now we essentially control the oil market. We're the only ones that can really control it at this point. Because are you going to trust Iran? Are you going to trust Iran to do this? Like, you cannot trust a single thing Iran does. Because you don't know if they're going to blow up your ship or not. So that's why all these ships are coming here. So we control the oil market, theoretically.
Ruben Gallego, just recently elected.
Eric Swalwell's best friend.
Swing state, by the way, actually a pretty strong
a Republican state. It's a Republican-leaning state, not really a swing state. But yeah, so Ruben Gallego might be. Funny enough, Democrats might have shot themselves in the foot here by forcing Swalwell out, because now there's a chance Ruben Gallego gets forced out. If it comes out he was in that room with the underage girl like that, and again, they're best friends. They're really good friends. And I'm pretty sure, wasn't he the campaign manager for Swalwell's campaign in 2020?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not good.
Campaign share.
Whatever, it's the same thing. Yeah. Guys, this is significant because that means, again, if Ruben Gallego is forced out, there will be a special election in Arizona.
I mean, for the record, well, yeah, Katie Hobbs would have to appoint a Republican.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what that means? You know what that means? In Arizona will have had a Senate. They will keep the streak of having a Senate race every 2 years since 2014. Yeah. 2014 was the last year they didn't have a Senate race because they always have specials. There's every fucking 2 years. It's insane.
That's a thing with Arizona. Like, this time, the Democrat bench is dead. Who do they got in Arizona now? Who?
If I had to guess, probably the mayor of Phoenix, which would be Ruben Gallego's ex-wife.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
But I think
the good old-fashioned Tucker Carlson. The people charge. Oh, I love how it starts with the people in charge don't want you to know this. Why is it always like? First of all, why is it always a secret knowledge shit?
He means the Jews, by the way. He means the Jews.
Yeah, but it's like it's always the stuff that's like, guys, they don't want you to know. It's they. Again, like this does seem like a Gnostic thing. It's like this secret knowledge bullshit. It's like, guys, you got to read my shit if you want to see the truth. Well, here's what Tucker said, or his network did. Islam reveres him as a major prophet and messenger of the Lord, believes he performed miracles, and states that he will return Earth to defeat the Antichrist. Which, yeah, they do believe that, but how can you say Muslims put Jesus at the same level of Christians? Like,
how long until Tucker says peace be upon him?
Do it!
When he's talking about Muhammad.
I don't say that.
So I'd like to point out this month Trump praised Allah on Easter. The president of Iran is defending the Pope. And Tucker is criticizing Trump by saying Jesus loves Muslims. But Trump's a Muslim now. He said glory be to Allah on Easter morning.
Yeah, wasn't the whole argument that he, like, what? This whole thing is stupid. Jacob Martin for 5. You may not like her rap, but Loomer has been fully vindicated on Tucker. Yeah. But yeah, so apparently, first of all, who does this appeal to?
Tucker? Dude, he's grifting at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a grift.
Now telling Algerian Christians and Muslims to take communion and practice together.
I saw that. What the hell is he doing?
Are you trying to get other people? See, this is why I keep saying Pope Leo is just a fucking lib shit who doesn't know what he's doing. You're trying to get motherfuckers killed.
In a span of like a day, he went from all these like trad Catholics on Twitter like shilling for him. They magically all vanish and stop saying a word about him after what he said about the communion thing. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you doing? People are getting so sick of that shit. It's unbelievable. Yeah, again, like, people think, well, they had Musk and Trump. The difference is, it was clear Musk was on drugs. He was stressed out.
Well, it's also the thing is, Trump needs Musk's money.
Yeah, he needs his money.
Tucker's not the richest man in the world. He runs a shitty little podcast after he got fired on Fox for being a little too safe edgy.
Yeah. Just, again, Musk, he had issues and he has money. We can look past his other shit because guess what? He has the money. We want the money to win.
Tucker's a fucking journalist. You know what Musk is? Musk is a fucking billionaire philanthropist, engineer, innovator. He runs the fucking company that's going to help us get back into the fucking stars. SpaceX is going to be one of the 2 companies alongside Blue. Fucking, what's it called? You know what I mean? Bezos is Blue. Blue Origin or something like that. It's going to be one of the 2 fucking companies that helps us get back and stay ahead in the space race. Tucker's a shitty little journalist who got fired from Fox News. He's just been losing his fucking mind since. Also, unlike Tucker, Musk, when he was head of Doge, actually set it up so that Doge was doing that good shit. And guess what? Doge is still doing good shit, finding shit like Sheila McCormick's $5 million in FEMA fucking funding embezzlement.
It's the wild thing.
Doge and Musk's actions can at least be pointed to the forced resignation of one Democrat.
Potentially.
Democrat resignation.
Yeah, and people understand, like, the whole thing with, like, Doge is, I keep trying to explain this to people. They really think Doge shut down, like, last year. It's still going! In fact...
Oh, and by the way, here's the other thing with Elon Musk. He's our George Soros.
Yeah, you don't got another Soros. Democrats, I mean, Soros is dead, basically, so good luck with that.
Democrats have George Soros, and then once he dies, they'll have his son.
Yeah, I know.
His dad's money.
But
his son, who's nowhere near as smart as him, for the record.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows.
And probably also, and thankfully won't reproduce because of the environment or something. I don't know.
But people understand, like, the thing with Musk is, like, I mean, with Doge is still going. How many times do they explain this? They're exposing Medicaid fraud as we speak. What? Do you think Vance and his fraud task force has made that stuff up? Who do you think discovered that stuff? Who do you think's looking into that?
What the fuck do you think? And by the way, again, I'm going to point out who is the person in the House that tried to get it shut down to begin with? Marjorie Taylor Brown.
Yeah. People understand, like, look this up. She was I don't know why we ever did this. We put Mike Johnson, this was his biggest mistake. He put her in charge of the one committee that controlled Doge in the House. And that's a committee they could have codified the Doge cuts with. They could have done real... audits, real investigations, real
And then she
subpoenas.
completely threw it away because she wanted to run for Senate and Trump said no, and she said, well,
I'm not even
fuck
joking.
you.
And then she made the Doge committee about like transgender stuff and like culture war stuff. Look, I'm not even joking. Look it up. It was right after Trump told her, no, I'm not going to support you right now. That's when immediately that committee fell apart. And all the Doge cuts.
Average conservative woman. I'm sorry.
So true. So true. You're not deporting them from Catholicism. You're deporting them from the United States. Any fucking Guatemalan going to your shitty little fucking service is gonna go back home. He's gonna fucking practice mass in Spanish at his fucking hometown church. It's not like they're fucking leaving Catholicism, you fucking hack. You fucking piece of shit. You motherfucker. And I'm also going to reiterate that ever since the death of Pope John Paul II, Pope Emeritus, fucking every single pope has been playing leftist political games. The Vatican, since the 2000s, has more or less a left-leaning institution. And I'm going to say it again because people need to understand this. Pope Leo was elected because we have a Catholic American vice president, and because American conservative Catholics are the reason the fucking papacy is financially afloat. The reason the Catholic Church gets money is because of all the NGOs our fucking pork barrel government goes them, and all the gullible, naive conservative Catholics who just assume innocently and unassumedly assume that the papacy is a neutral institution. Pope Francis, yes, he was much more to the left of Pope Leo, but he was not going out of his way to attack Trump, at least in English, because he knew better. Pope Leo, much like every other American leftist, he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't understand subtlety or nuance. He's like an American businessman. He goes out, he just says the quiet part out loud, and he gets pissy when you tell him no, fuck off. He wants to play these fuck games. He wants to gaggle fuck around and other such things. He wants to use human rights and religious morality as a thin veil and not a purpose in of itself to criticize the war in Iran and mass migration. He wants to play these games of politics. So don't be fucking surprised when the most powerful man in the world, who you have been attacking for days and days on end now, calls you a weak motherfucker who goes out and does this stupid shit. Trump definitely could have handled it with a bit more tact, but Trump is absolutely in the right here.
It's much worse.
Why are Republicans making so much money? I'm serious. Like Trump.
Okay, Trump, Musk money, etc. That's fine.
But why are we like there is organic
in 2022, all of Trump's money was going to legal fees, and the only donors we had were Mike Lindell and the Home Depot guys. That was it.
Chief Constituent has been a member for 33 months. I've been one of Trump's most loyal supporters since my most recent tantrum. When I condemned him last week, but I truly think it's over this time, guys. Yeah, that's real. But yeah, as for the, I just want Rap to admit he was wrong to shut down anyone concerned over Pope Leo. I will admit I was wrong with Leo. I hate to say it, I was wrong. So, but anyway, as for
it's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, Mike Johnson, for those that, okay, I should explain how we're raising this much money, because Mike Johnson himself just pulled $30 million out of his ass. Just out of nowhere, thin air, just $34 million. People gotta understand that Trump has been doing a lot of fundraisers with a bunch of big donors, and I have no clue what he's doing. He's either like, I don't know how he's raised this much money. I honestly don't know. The Democrats, the thing they got, they don't got back blue anymore. Well, they still do, but it's not fundraising anywhere near the amount. Their big donors have bailed on them completely. Republicans, though, I don't know, they're just finding big donors out of nowhere. And this does not include Trump, by the way, or Elon Musk.
And look, man, with the guy super chatting about, well, Pope Leo means well. Okay, Pope Leo met with David Axelrod. Pope Leo met with Obama staffers. Pope Leo met while we were still reorganizing Venezuela, met with the opposition leadership. Pope Leo cried about Obama-era deportation operations, not under Obama, but under Trump. Look, all of these things, it's been over and over and over again. It seems like Pope Leo, it almost feels like he spends more time trying to affect American politics than he does actually being the Pope. And like, I know that's our perception because we're like in the political world all day, but he should not be on my feed every single day unless it's for like some religious purpose. And it's not. It's always it's always politics. He's always in my feed over politics.
Jesse for 5, not antagonize the Catholics. I respect them and tell people we need their support. Just tired of people acting like the real conservatives are them and not Protestants. We're not going to get into that debate. But yeah, Pope Leo just said, and listen, I should be clear, I kind of get what he's trying to imply here, but he said, we should perhaps be a little less fearful of Islam.
No. So this is the whole thing. This was the post he made yesterday where he went to an Algerian memorial dedicated to them basically murdering Christians and then installing the current Islamic government that makes the evangelism of Christ, the proselytization of Christianity, illegal. You cannot proselytize in Algeria. I won't be mad about Israel having those kind of restrictions. I'm going to be mad about Algeria having those kinds of restrictions. Muslims don't get a free card just because Jews do something I don't like. Like, it's all these countries do the same thing. And for some reason, because Islam is becoming so prolific, I suppose, through these refugee resettlement policies or whatever, we're supposed to now all of a sudden pretend Islam is friendly to Christianity. How many trucks of peace through like German Christian markets like do we need to like at Christmas time? Like, how many decades of that do I need to see before I like come to draw some conclusions? Like, no.
I understand what he's trying to imply. I get that, but why would you say it? Like, what are you doing? Again, like, I get to a certain extent, like, I get what you're trying to say is, like, do not be fearful or whatever. Fine. There are a million different ways to say this. Don't just say, yeah, it's like the ways he's talking about it. It's like, guys, Islam's not a big issue. It's perfectly fine.
No.
What the fuck? It's just Jesus.
No, and the way he said that they're in communion with the...
Yeah,
with
that
Christian.
lost me. That lost me completely. I have no clue what he's like. What universe? Like, we're not talking about like Lutherans or whatever. Or like,
I mean, like that's not even that's not even the text of Vatican II. The text of Vatican II like has partial communion for other Christians.
Yeah,
doesn't have like any. There's no sort of like. There's like acknowledgement and like respect given to Islam in Vatican II, but there's no sense of communion. Like, communion's not a thing that like Vatican II even articulates. He's going beyond what even Vatican II says in this comment. It's like ridiculous.
This is borderline pluralism. I mean, like, again, like, there's one thing to say, like, be respectful, like, Islam or whatever. Like, that's one thing, but what? I don't get this. I don't get, like, who do you appeal to with this? California governor race, which I think this is going to be the main topic of the stream because, oh boy, shit is hitting the fan there, and despite the fact they forced Swalwell out. Go on.
Yeah. It is a fucking miracle that despite a Trump endorsement and despite Swalwell being, the Democratic Party has now forced 2 top-tier candidates out. The leader is once again the perennial candidate who never wins. And it is a miracle that despite after all of these Democratic Party purges to get rid of people who could be liabilities, despite Trump endorsing Hilton, which you think would skew the Republican base in one way or another.
No, it did the opposite.
Polls are still showing Bianco and Hilton in dead heat. No matter what happens in California, for some fucking reason, we are still likely to see a Republican versus Republican jungle election going into November.
All I'm going to say is,
insane.
as the local Californian, I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that Chad Bianco makes it into the runoff for Steve Hilton.
Listen, again, wait for the polling to come up, but if you live in California, make sure you get enough people to vote for Bianco. I don't like the guy, but I'd rather have him than Tom Steyer.
Tom Steyer, I confused him with Matt Mahan, and I was like, oh, Tom Steyer is like the moderate. No, he's a fucking lunatic. I remember when I confused him for Matt Mahan, and people were like, no, Poster Tubbs. Like, Tom Steyer's a fucking lunatic. And I was like, oh, it's a different person. And
I remember, or I find it very funny. I find it very funny how Tom Steyer is a multi-billionaire hedge fund manager, and yet he is preaching open socialism. The California Democrats are just obviously, they are so fucking obviously full of shit and lie to their people, but you know, there's so much fucking fraud and illegal immigration there that it just beats out the native fucking population's voting power.
All right,
probably like a Larry Hogan type. He's not like a Trumpian either.
Well, yeah, obviously.
He's not like Trumpian, but here's the thing with Chad Bianco. Chad Bianco is the sole reason Riverside County and a bunch of other areas in California have their right to carry. Chad Bianco has spoken very favorably about what Trump is doing with ICE and deportations. He's very pro-law and order. I understand Hilton is more of an ideological conservative, but I, in my personal opinion, think Bianco, even though he's not as Trumpian MAGA, I think by virtue of his career and him knowing the California legal system and what he's spoken on, in spite of everything he's fucking done with the BLM bullshit, I think Bianco is more equipped to be governor because he understands state law and state law enforcement better than anybody there. And with a really fucking good advisor, maybe Hilton as his fucking advisor on the new shit.
I would argue
I think Bianco would be the more effective governor.
I agree. And I don't think it's a bad thing that he's not ideologically super MAGA. This is California. It's not like, not even Texas, right? So no, Bianco I think would be able to win re-election. Hilton just probably would not. That's my take, and that's why I'm voting for Bianco. Aside from, you know, the obvious that, we got to get a 2v2 primary of Republicans, Bianco can actually win re-election. I just don't think Hilton can.
Yeah, and again, just getting a Republican in there, there's a lot of red tape that would disappear. Like the oil stuff. Like, I think obviously the state legislators would be a nuisance, but just getting a Republican governor there's a lot of shit they can do. The governor of California has a lot of power. So
I'm actually, thank you, Tubbs. I was starting to think I was crazy for being the only Bianco over Hilton person here.
I'm fine with Bianco. I just personally would obviously prefer Hilton. So
I think with California, you either need like Matt Mahan or you basically need a Republican governor.
Bianco is going to be the only one of those two who is reelectable. I don't really care if he's a Larry Hogan type. I think he's going to be a Larry Hogan type who's much harsher on the law. And I'm also just going to be outright honest. If he were to be some kind of massive Second Amendment liberalizer in California, I think most Californians would welcome that at that point.
I could see that.
He's obviously not going to be this fucking candidate where it's like, whoa, he's going to ban abortion. He's not going to do that. He's going to be a moderate. But people need to remember, you run moderates in extreme left states if you want to win. That is how you win power. You win power by being deceptive. You send someone in to be to the very far right on one or two issues most people aren't going to bat an eye on, and then you be moderate if not sustain the status quo on other things.
Look at Virginia. Look at Virginia. That's a perfect example. But she ran as a moderate. She's the most moderate governor in history. And now she's been the most radical. And it's going to be a lot worse. So good luck, Virginia.
The choice is very clear for California. You can have Hilton, who's going to get immediately recalled. That's another thing. They're going to that's another thing we didn't mention on stream. Both of them are going to get immediately recalled.
Oh yeah.
The legislature is going to try and get both candidates recalled. but I don't think Hilton can survive a recall. Likewise, I think Bianco can survive a recall. If Bianco is elected, immediately, good Lord, sorry. If Bianco is elected, immediately hits the ground running, starts using state law enforcement to clean shit up. He cleans up the cities. He goes in. He does what he can with federal law enforcement, at the very least. Dude, think about how clean San Francisco was when Xi Jinping visited California.
Yeah, he made it look spot.
Imagine what would happen. Imagine what would happen to Bianco's approval if he did the same fucking thing with every major city there. I think Chad Bianco is the only candidate who understands the Californian law, understands California law enforcement, knows how to work with cops. He is a cop himself. I think he's the only person who can go in there and actually clean shit up and not only survive recall, but potentially run and win another election. We don't need him to be MAGA. We don't need, it's the same fucking shit with Susan Collins, with Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's the same fucking thing with all of these people. You don't run an extreme leaning candidate. I say extreme. It's kind of crazy we have to say generic right wing to extreme.
You're extreme.
You understand? Nonetheless, you understand my point, yes? Fucking Chad Bianco is the next, hey asshole, don't fucking merge into me. I'm not saying Chad Bianco is the California Trump, that's absurd, but Bianco is the law and order candidate who is going to understand how that shit works. He's going to understand how law enforcement works. He understands how to cooperate and deal with that bullshit. And he would be the person that would enable Steve Hilton and all of these other California Republicans to go in, do what they need to do, and cut all the crap out.
Yeah.
That is the only feasible way I see. And I'm not saying we're going to win California in the next presidential election. That's crazy. But if Bianco survives a recall, and we have 4 years of Bianco, and guys like Hilton are put in charge of things to oversee the economy, investigate the fraud, cities are kept clean, not only does California go back to being a first world state again, but that also means you're going to clear up so much fraud. You're going to clear up so much illegal immigration with the cities being clean and shit being that much more easy for ICE and Border Patrol to track down, that you might, in a good year, see California enter triple digits. Nice. It's going to go from 20 plus to like maybe 15 to 18.
Yeah, Tyrone nailed it. I mean, you just said what I was gonna say, but like the long-term goal is to turn California from what it was maybe 5 years ago, which was a state that had the politics of Vermont or Maryland, to a state that has the politics of I don't know, fucking Virginia or New Hampshire, or maybe something a bit more.
What was that?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. That was intentional. That was
as you were.
But yeah, no, it's like, it is to turn the state. It's not gonna. California is not gonna be a red state. If you asked me this question 5 years ago, I would have said it's not gonna be a red state in our lifetimes. Now I'm gonna say, okay, it's not gonna be a red state until like we're like in our middle age. But it's still gonna take time.
It won't be a red state in our youth. But if you do get Bianco, look, it's simple. Bianco needs to win, but this is also contingent on Bianco getting the right people to help him out. And last I checked, it does sound like Bianco and Hilton are friendly. This is the watershed moment the California Republican Party has been looking for. This is the moment where the California Party needs to realize this is it. This is where the hoof meets the road, y'all. This is where hoof meets gravel. We need to get Hilton.
It's been reported.
Oh man, Russia! Look where the prodigal son is gone.
Yep, right here. Kellen Coolidge Project is posting that Hunter Biden has now left the United States because of mounting debt. Come on, Tulsi Gabbard, if you're listening, Do the funny.
Did you guys? Fuck! It was some Texas Republican. He was touting the endorsement of the Calvin Coolidge Project last night.
No, that was Mike Collins out of Georgia.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, it was fucking Mike Collins. He's like proud to be endorsed by the Calvin Coolidge Project.
I laughed at it. Like,
you guys remember Wendy Rogers? She did it. She is
no,
quite good. But she made a whole graphic saying she was endorsed by the Calvin Coolidge.
Bro, listen, whoever runs a Mike Collins Twitter account needs a raise. That is the greatest.
Yeah. Anyway, back to topic.
Yeah, so
Hunter
Biden might be in trouble. Which, yeah, he got I thought he got pardoned. So I don't know.
Unless there's something we don't know about.
But again, Biden's pardon was weird, where it's like retroactive and proactive, and then freaking.
I thought it was just for a specific case.
I don't know.
Was it a
glitch EV for 2? One of my best friends lives in Riverside County. Okay.
Yep. Riverside County is clean as hell.
Can you revoke Hunter Biden's pardon? No, you can't. I know there's some dumb shits are saying we got to revoke pardons. It's like, no.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Like, no, you do not want a rabbit hole started with that. Because if you can revoke one pardon, where does it stop?
You can revoke all the Jan 6 pardons.
And not just that, at least dumb shits, which by the whole January 6th thing, why is it a lot of these people that are, they were pardoned by Trump for the January 6th stuff? Like, why did half of them turn to never Trumpers in the last year?
Trump betrayed the base by not becoming a dictator.
So true. Trump betrayed the base by obliging by the rule of law.
The issue with American politics is people have short-term memories. And I keep trying to explain this to fucking people. I'm sorry, the average voter has the attention span of like 2 months. If that. It's maybe 3 months, best case scenario. They don't give a shit what happened last year. And people keep making a big deal like Doge and stuff. Guys, people just got sick of talking with Doge. And then moved on. Like, I can't believe I have to explain this, but people have short-term memories. That's why, in 3 months, I highly doubt, especially if the war in Iran ends in the next couple of weeks, do you think people are going to give a shit about it in August? Like,
if we end the Iran war soon, people are going to go, oh, cool. We beat Iran. That's awesome.
But no.
What's the issue now?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It just always, I can't believe I have to explain this to people. People with short-term mememories. They don't give a shit. People already forgot what happened in Minneapolis 3 months ago. That's enough proof that, hey, people don't give a shit. Or I should say they don't give a shit. But again, they have short-term memories. The average voter is not, like, in tune with politics 24/7. They're not. So, anyways, object class creator for 10. Democrats, Trump is a king, etc. Also Democrats. Trump can't do everything he wants because law/procedures. It's almost like they admit Trump isn't a king. All the things we complain about would be solved if he was. I agree. Spikes for 2. Is there any Democrat you would vote for president? Point though, there are plenty of people that should just be expelled from the discourse. I'm not even joking. These fucking people, they've been wrong about everything. They've been wrong about everything.
Candace Owens, Alex Jones, who else? Revenant crashed the fuck out on Twitter the other night.
Ramsey Paul.
Ramsey Paul. He crashed out pretty hard. Messenger in Exile. He's always been a loony, but like he had a particularly salty crash out a while ago.
You want a stable Middle East? You may not like it, but guess what? You got to make these countries not hate each other. And well, they all hate Iran now. They're all focused on that shit. And a lot of these, even look at Lebanon. Lebanon, they signed a peace agreement, or at least a ceasefire. So we're starting to see.
Oh, this ceasefire. Okay, so the ceasefire agreement is actually a major. I will say this: the ceasefire with Lebanon and Israel, or specifically Hezbollah and Israel, is actually a massive victory for Iran and Hezbollah from a religious perspective, because it means Shia Islam is going to continue to remain
Yeah,
it's going to continue doing a thing.
Yeah, I've seen that. That is a concern, but the point is, like, we're starting to see the Middle East. They're kind of starting to stabilize, like, their relations with, like, each other a little bit. And I think it's a big deal because you want to leave the Middle East. Guess what? You got to keep these countries somewhat stable. Like, you got Saudi Arabia, you got, like, Oman, the UAE, but you got to make sure, like,
Qatar.
Like, you want to make sure these countries aren't killing each other every 5 minutes. And I think this war kind of united the region. And they made them more pro-West, especially pro-America. Fuck the EU. They're actually pissed with the EU right now, which is hilarious. The EU is utterly worthless. And now you see what Starmer's saying about the Strait of Hormuz. You know what he said?
I briefly saw his comment, but I'm forgetting what he said.
We're gonna moderate the situation. We're gonna make sure the strait's open. Go fuck yourself. You guys suck.
He literally did the meme. We're monitoring the situation.
Yeah, we're gonna monitor the situation. Like, I'm so sick of this shit.
You have no idea. You have no idea. The Treasury has been posting massive red marks for the United States. This is something that's not being discussed. We're actually in a significant amount of financial debt right now for a lot of bullshit. The Gulf is the only country the United States goes to for help. That's the only place we go to get money. So Trump resolving this and being able to get Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states to dump money into the U.S. is huge.
Yeah, they already were.
A lot of people don't seem to understand that.
They already were. And it's been reported now the Saudi crown prince, apparently he's about to, like, spend a couple $100 billion on America.
Someone really needs to do a calculation of, like, all the foreign investments that we're getting into the U.S. since Trump's taken office.
It's trillions, and now we're starting to see the effects of it. It takes a while, of course, but we're starting to see more and more investments in America, like actual investments. Not, 30 years from now, we're going to invest $5. No. We're starting to see progress now. And now, the Saudis, the UAE, Oman, Qatar.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. You said the shoddy instead of Saudi. I was like, damn, shoddy investing her buck in the U.S.
The Saudis.
It's like a melody in your head.
They're already investing hundreds of billions, if not $1 trillion, into America now. What do you think's happened now?
There is a reported deal where the Saudis said that they'd invest $1.5 trillion into the U.S.
It would single-handedly change the midterms.
They need to stop blueballing us, bro. It's actually getting annoying.
Yeah, like, what is Alito? Do it! Fucking make the decision. Retire, like, as this is your, like, final victory, and retire and go out in the sunset.
No, what we need to do is we need to wait for the midterms. I think if we could shoot the Voting Rights Act down, score a bunch of fucking victories in the midterms, secure the House, and wash up our Senate. I do think certain Dems in swing states will probably help confirm someone. We're not gonna get some. I just want to say this real quick. We're not gonna get someone as good as Alito again.
No. Alito and Thomas
people need. Yeah. I am telling the chat right now, just so you guys don't cut your dick off and tune out later down the line. If Alito and Thomas are replaced and the justices are not as good, that's not a Trump problem insofar as Trump won't select the best person. That is our legislative branch of the government is a fucking joke and everyone whines and pisses and shits themselves issue.
Yeah.
So if Trump appoints a fourth and even a fifth Supreme Court justice and something happens with them, I'm just telling you guys right now, don't expect them to be this ultra-based judge, but also don't be like Pikachu shocked face, it's over if they're not like a perfect fucking judge.
I think it's be another Gorsuch type. So like really good, but like not in levels of Alito or Thomas.
Gorsuch has been fine. The only issue with Gorsuch is his fucking precious Native American tribes.
Yeah, that is always weird. Like what, dude?
Like why do you give a fuck about the Oklahoma tribes so much, homie? You're not even from Oklahoma.
Yeah, outside
He's
of that,
from
though,
what? He's from what? New Jersey?
I don't know. It's like it's always been weird. Like every time there's a native case, it's always Gorsuch every time. Like, what are you doing, dude?
You'd think he'd be married to an Indian woman at that point.
Yeah. So, we'll see though. I guess we should push for some ultra-based judges. Oh, I agree. Like, we should try to get the best of the best. But realistically, I think we get another Gorsuch type, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with another Gorsuch type. But let's see. I actually think it's best that the Supreme Court waits until after the Virginia referendum. You know, that's actually a good idea. Just wait till after the referendum, the day after, and just say, "Fuck it, it's gone." But
because if they fucking, oh yeah, that's right. Because if they shoot down Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, they're gonna have to redraw that in Virginia, aren't they?
Yeah.
There really is a peace deal being signed, like, in a couple of days from now. People are going to forget about this in a couple of months.
I would say this, guys, I've been looking more into it. The average voter has the attention span of 3 months, if that.
Dude, the average voter has an attention span of 3 weeks at best. Yeah. I'm already seeing people stop giving a shit about what happened with the Pope, and that didn't happen that happened less than a fucking week ago.
Yeah. Guys,
it happened a couple of days ago.
Obviously, some stuff, like, it lingers on, obviously, but most of the time, even the fucking shit with Iran, guys, people are starting to move on already on the issue. Fucking already, it's not even over yet, and people are moving on. Remember the Minneapolis stuff? Remember? Does anybody remember Renee Good?
Alex Freddie.
Yeah, they're the martyrs. Everybody, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit.
I was gonna try to make a joke about the dude who burnt himself alive in the air. I can't even remember his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I don't remember his name either.
I know who you're talking about, though.
No one gives a shit. I sure as fuck don't give a shit about these random leftists who are fucking killing themselves.
Well, but that's the point, guys. Like, the average voter has the attention span. That's what I was saying. If this conflict is over by June at the latest, no one gives a shit by September. No one gives a shit by October. But people really think, oh, people remember the Venezuela stuff. Does anybody even talk about Venezuela anymore? Funny how that works, by the way. Everyone was saying Venezuela is going to be an endless war. We're going to lose hundreds of thousands of people. Venezuela's going to win. And after like a week, it lasted an hour, actually. The whole operation lasted like 2 hours. We won. And magically, all these people moved on to the next subject.
Or it was like when Liberation Day happened and people were saying that this was going to be like the next Great Depression, and then that didn't happen.
It's going to be younger than 24. I call fucking bullshit on that. Saying it's going to be the same is already bullshit.
Yeah, I call that bullshit.
But like, that's what the polls are suggesting right now. You look inside the Eternals, they're saying, yeah, it's be younger than 24. Guys, these polls are assuming one of the youngest midterms in history. Younger than fucking 2018. Or even 22. That is crazy. And even then, who would you rather try to win? Just math-wise. You have to appease either 70% of the vote or 30%. Do the math. Objectively speaking, which one is worthwhile investment? You're going to say 70% of the voters every time. Why wouldn't you? That's where the election will be won or lost. If Trump is able to win enough old people to counteract any bullshit swing of young people, which I would argue, any swing of young people, it's just going to be voters not voting. That's the reality of it. A lot of young Republicans and conservatives, they're just not motivated to vote. And they're just not going to vote. I highly doubt they're all going to vote Democrat. Highly doubt it, but I guess there's a possibility of that. The retard right will scream about it, but they'll never vote anyway, so why would any politicians listen to them? Yeah, I've been trying to tell people this. Like, if you're not going to vote, how do you think you're going to improve the GOP? Or make things better if you're not going to vote? That's why they appeal to only boomers. Boomers alone. Electorate. Below 29, they don't even make up 10%. Gee, I wonder who they're going to focus on more.
And the thing is, like, think we're going to come to a point where we're going to miss the boomers, because I'm a bit scared of when the millennials get power of politics. I think they're going to be lunatics. And
going back to what I was saying.
So I just want to bring that up.
Going back to what I was saying though, Gen Z is going to be a lot more I don't fucking care. Expect lower turnout than average with Gen Z compared to other generations, but also expect them to be a lot more polarized.
I agree.
And again, and like, that is why it's stupid. You should absolutely get the youth engaged, but it's stupid to actively sacrifice older engagement for youth engagement. Young people did not win Trump 2024. I'm sorry. There's this myth.
I think it exacerbated some swings. Well, that's about it. It exacerbated some results.
It exacerbated results, especially response polls, exit polls that were done in the wake of it, because the younger people are going to be the ones who are more likely to actually give a shit about that.
All right.
You still need boomers, unfortunately, and as long as that's the case, we are going to continue to exist in a boomer extortion state where young people are actively fucked over. And to that, I just say, what are you gonna do?
But even then, like, you look what Trump is doing. Trump is setting up America for a long-term, like, economic boom, like a real one. You look what he's actually trying to do with the investment stuff. It may not help us in the short term, but long term, I think it does. Manufacturing stuff. So take that as you will. And
what's on an announced? We are a stream consisting of a stout Wisconsin man, a frost troll straight out of Hyperborea working for the army, an Indian, a stout Texan man going to college. Who else? We got Luke. I can't really think of anything funny to describe him because he's just kind of annoying to me. But I digress.